Oh my goodness, that's my cue. It's time to get started. This little thing we call One Street Over, you guys. Yeah, I love listening to the Ridgetop Ramblers every morning for just a few minutes. Just kind of teasing us with the fact that the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival is on again this year, if you haven't heard. I am so excited about that. Just cannot wait to get back together with my bluegrass buddies out at the Kilgore Station Park up in Cross Plains. But it's happening the 27th and 28th of August this year. And I think I got those dates right. Last weekend in August is when it's happening. Yep, 27th and 28th. And they're going to have a junior fiddle competition the evening before the festival and on Friday. And then, of course, the festival happening all day, and it's going to be so much fun. You got to be a part of it. That's where I met that's where I heard this song, One Street Over. And it's just kind of how God puts things in your path, because I don't think there could be a more perfect name for what we do here on this show. What's going on one street over from where I'm located? What's going on one street over in my county, in my city, in my community, right? Hello, Mr. Terry Wilson.
Good morning.
How are you doing? Put that microphone right on you there, darling.
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. It's good to see you. I missed you last month. You were out of pocket.
And playing phone tag and stuff. I think the wind was blowing the opposite direction.
Yeah, I tell you. So it's just so good that we got Terry back in the house, and he's here for the entire hour. There's so much going on with the veterans. I mean, since we last met, we've had another dedication at the Orange Heart Medal Memorial. Uh-huh. And we've also had Vietnam Veterans Day. And I had a guest in here for the entire hour, and it was one of those things that just slipped my mind to discuss that. And when you do that, you're just wanting to smack yourself, because it's like I thought about it the day before, and then Monday I got up and it just and the show was over, and I was like, oh, what did I do? And so forgive me, because all the Vietnam veterans know that they have my heart. I mean, they know that was just a slip of the mind, but I was not intentional at all. But I love my veterans. Got a real special place in my heart for the Vietnam ones, because I grew up in that. So
I tell you, I see it just about every day. Mm-hmm. And whether they were boots on ground or whether they were stateside, you can kind of see the story behind the eyes.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have, they don't have to say anything. You just kind of know, and you agree to disagree, and just try to remember that we're all vets, and somewhere along the line, as I tell them, we've all walked in some of the same mud and dirt and eat some of the same sand and everything else, and It's just not a good thing sometimes, but hey, we always try to remember the good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got a wonderful opportunity to honor our Vietnam veterans, and we can talk a little bit. We'll have to get Kim back in here and talk to him about the next phase of the memorial wall for the Orange Heart. And that's not just for people who, if you go to the memorial and you see the Orange Heart medal, that's people who we know had exposure to Agent Orange, and it has affected them. The ones that do not have that medal beside their name, maybe they've not had issues from it. They don't feel they were exposed to it. I'm finding out very few of the Vietnam, if you were boots on the ground over there, you got exposed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, I've got friends that I know have already passed that while they were not identified as having problems from it, I believe it probably was. Yeah. But it's just, they died long before it really, before the nation really started recognizing, hey, we need to take care of these guys.
Well, and one of the things, we have several that I have fought here lately to where the veteran passed from a presumptive from the herbicide exposure. Yeah. And as long as we can get some medical records to back that up, and it's listed on the death certificate, we'll fight to get that dependent indemnity compensation for that spouse. Mm-hmm. It's amazing how many veterans just never filed. Mm-hmm. I had a gentleman who had open heart surgery in 2009. Ischemic heart disease went on the registry as a presumptive in 2010. He passed in 2015. Never had filed a claim. And we fought that one. We got recently got dependents indemnity compensation earlier this year for her. I have another spouse that I'll be going out to visit with tomorrow afternoon, and we recently was able to get service connection for his death. And and the thing about it is they never knew that there was anything that they could do. They just thought, they passed, they didn't file a claim. No, if it has something that's service connected on there, or potentially could be, definitely take a look at that and just to see what we can do.
Well, go ahead.
And because I would much rather try to get those spouses dependents indemnity compensation, because it's not based on income, health, or assets like pension is for wartime veterans. And so we definitely want to try to be able to get the largest amount we can, and that way then, they don't have to worry about anything that they do in the future.
Yeah, and the one thing, too, I think there's a stigma. There's a point on here from Aaron, too, I want to get to. But there's a stigma, I think, to our generation that, no, I don't want to take those because somebody else needs that more. And they don't understand. It's all there. I mean, just look at the way our government wastes money. I mean, come on, seriously. Let them take care of this for you. My son came out of the Army. He was in 4 years, came out with permanent hearing loss because he was infantry. He shot the big guns. I mean, he shot... he's got permanent hearing loss. He's in his 20s. He is going to have some disability. It's not huge, but it's something. He gave up in his 20s, having decent hearing for the rest of his life because he served. So he should be compensated for that. But there's a stigma that goes along with that. When people find out that he's got some kind of something coming, they're like, well, no. He lost his hearing significantly while he was serving our country. And
a lot of people don't understand. If you have never bought hearing aids are very expensive.
You bet.
And the VA they're within probably weeks of cutting edge technology right now in hearing aids. A couple of years ago, they were about a year or two behind.
Right.
But they have corrected that. The hearing aids that they're doing, to my understanding, if you used to buy them out in the public, would be about $8,000 to $10,000. They hope that they will last about 3 to 5 years, and so they're going to replace those. So if you have a young man who's in his 20s, well, we've got 50, 60, 70 years, and every 5 years, if you can go 5 years without having to get them changed. That's a big chunk of money. That you're looking at. I mean, you could be looking over $100,000 for someone who's in their 20s that's going to have to put out on hearing aids over their lifetime. And part of the reason for the VA is to be able to care for our veterans, and not all injuries and scars are visible. There's a lot of things that go on, and this was hard for me to do as well too, because I always thought, leave it there for the guys that were seriously wounded,
right?
The ones that are in bad shape and need it. And from what I have learned over the last few years and stuff is that the VA has to give their budget. They have to have money appropriated for the VA. That is based off the care for the amount of veterans that they're doing. That's how they get their money to be able to upgrade their testing equipment, being able to retain doctors and nurses, trying to make sure that we have the better care, making sure their facilities are up to date and clean. So those things, so it's very important for a veteran, if they potentially have something that could be linked back to service, is to file that claim. I mean, even 0%. I mean, granted, that's no money, it's non-compensable, but still, it's a service connection. That's something else that the VA can show. Hey, these are the veterans we're taking care of. They actually keep up with the percentage that they have that is hearing loss, tinnitus, PTSD. So they know what the percentage breakdown is for, even though that veteran may have several other issues, the main ones that they're looking at, they can tell you what their percentage is that they have that are service connected under those areas. And that helped guide them towards where do we need to put our focus. Do we need to shift it towards mental health? Do we need to shift it over here towards internal medicine? So trying to get those things in place and do that. But definitely encourage. One of the tough things is I have veterans come in, no injuries, nothing that can be service connected on disability. And so then we look at pension and the assets, their income and assets far outweigh what the limits is that the VA has set up. Or they fall within that within a time frame to where their income might be a little bit higher, and the VA does have to do a means test. So they can take care of their service connected. And if I have someone who's making $100,000 a year, they have great insurance and stuff, and we're trying to get them into VA healthcare, chance of that is going to be very slim. They're going to put them in what they call Group 8. They break it down into 8 groups. Vietnam veterans automatically start in Group 6 if there's no service connections, just because of their service in Vietnam. And as your percentages move up, you move up in group. Once someone hits 50% or more, then typically they're going to be in Group 1, which becomes the priority group. And I've had people get so angry. Well, my dad's being penalized because he did well. No, he's not being penalized. It's great that they did well.
Right.
But, what about the ones who didn't? They worked hard all their life, and they still put everything back they could to save, but it still wasn't enough. And so we've got to take care of them. And so that's always near and dear to my heart, and our surviving spouses, because a lot of people forget about them. And, they're the ones who, whether that veteran, they were married to them the entire time they were in service, or they they took care of them towards the end of life, and they watched that veteran go down, and they remember the flashbacks, the dreams, the things that the veteran went through, and maybe not fully understood it.
Right.
So it is really tough.
And there's just so many of these things. And we just want to encourage our veterans. If you're somebody out there and you think that maybe you've had a bad experience in the past, maybe 20 years ago, there wasn't a protection to help you get the help that you needed. There is now. And we've got the best in Terry Wilson right here in Robertson County, because and he's covered up. So definitely drop him a line, drop him an email, and just leave him a message, and he'll get back with you. But if you get him on your case, he is going to get you some help.
I've started putting together a spreadsheet of what I have active that I have in various phases, and I have well over 100.
Yeah.
That I can account for right now.
I'm not surprised.
I'm probably closer to 150 or better.
Yeah.
Of current ongoing cases in just various phases that we haven't reached the point of filing yet.
Yeah.
So it's time consuming. There's a lot of research that has to go into it, and as I tell the veterans when they come in, or the spouses, this is a team effort. I can put as much into it as they do, and sometimes I'll still put more, but there's things that I need them to do that I can't. So there's things that they can help round up. And so when it's a team effort, it does help things be more successful.
Well, absolutely. There's, we all have those people that'll come to it and they just want us to do it for them. That's not how it works. You got to be part of the team. And I want to mention this that Aaron is just mentioning. I don't know if you can see the comments on it, but he was talking about vets need to make sure that if they were part of the burn pit registry. What is he
Yes.
talking about there?
Okay.
Says that's going to be his generation's
Well,
Agent
that's
Orange.
actually going to go back to 91 from Desert Storm.
Okay.
Desert Storm's Desert Shield. Of course, the veterans were exposed to as the burn pits. Not only that, but the oil fires and everything else that was burning. And so they actually, the VA set up a burn pit registry. They can actually do that online. You can go to va.gov and be able to link to it that way, or you can just do a Google for burn pit registry. And what it is not just burn pit, but it's airborne environmental. And so this is going to ask them, where were you at? When was you there? Your date, unit. And, a lot of the camps that some of the guys were in, those camps aren't there anymore. But still, they need to try to make sure we get those listed. What that's helping them do, and by doing this online, is helping the VA start making a database to start tracking those veterans that were exposed to the burn pits, that were had the environmental exposures and all of that. And because we don't know what's going to happen. Probably one of my first Gulf War claims that I did, the young man was from Robertson County, and his unit was activated, deployed. They went over, they came back. He had asthma. Fortunately, this was probably as close to a slam dunk case as you can ever have, because his doctor, whose paperwork we got from, had been his doctor since he was born.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
it was,
so
no
the
doubt.
Yeah. So the doctor knew there was no pre-existing conditions. The asthma was related back to the exposures there from the burn pits and the other airborne. And so service connection, that was probably the most slam dunk that we've ever had. And even when you have one that you think is, sometimes, depending on whose desk it goes across.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And sometimes you have to refile things, I'm sure, and get another opinion on it and those types of things. I just appreciate what you do because I know a lot of veterans and have one in my own household. So, I'm just very, very excited for what you do for our veterans.
We just did our semi-annual American Legion training, and fortunately, the Department Service Officer training that the American Legion does, that I normally go to twice a year, because of COVID, they did it virtually back in August, so we did virtual again last month, and so I was able to have my entire team at the office involved in August, and then as well this time. And so when the attorneys are talking about different things and how to approach it, and they say, you need to go back on this. And of course, my folks said, no, we just give it to Terry. He likes to argue.
he's our ones like to go to the ropes as it is. Or no, I don't know. Yeah. I was trying to do some kind of a fighting, analogy, but
I can assure you, I will not be getting a Christmas card from anybody at the VA.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, there was that Terry Wilson guy from Robertson County again.
I've ran into a friend of mine last summer or fall, and was down for a hearing, and they said, I hadn't seen you while we got to talking. He said, yeah, I've seen your name on a lot of stuff down here. I've heard your name a lot. And I'm like, oh, gosh.
Uh-oh. That's great, though. I'd be like, amen, you bet. I am working.
Well,
getting it done.
Sometimes I don't know if it's good or bad.
That's really funny.
But we'll say
really funny. That's funny. I tell you, we need to pause for a minute. Terry Wilson is my guest, and we're going to be talking all things veteran, all things going on. We do this once a month. The first Wednesday of the month is Terry's Day to come in and just keep us apprised of everything going on for our veterans, because we care about our veterans so much and what you have done for us, and we're going to make sure you get the information you need. Now, we do need to stop and pause for a minute and talk about our sponsors. We're going to start with Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gift Nursery and Gardening Center. They're pretty active on social media. You can follow them at Corbin Creek Greenhouse and Gifts. And I know Amy yesterday they put up this picture, this beautiful. I love their greenhouses. If you have never gone to Corbin Creek and just walked through the greenhouses, just the smells and the feel and just the life that you just kind of drink in when you walk through there. But she put up here. She says our greenhouses is an oasis in the chaos. I love that. It's an oasis in the chaos, a place to stop and reset. And so they just invite you to just stop by today and just take a moment to breathe. I just absolutely love that. And that is true. If you just really, just the chaos of the day, it's not that far. It's over at 4920 Highway 161 if you're right here in the Springfield area. I mean, 10 minutes tops from the downtown square. I don't even think it's 10 minutes, but very easy to get to. Just go by and see them and just walk through the greenhouses. And you're probably going to find something to hang on your porch or something to put into your gardens or into your yard that you're going to love. I'm waiting on lavender right now. I've decided that's going to be my go-to plant in my pots because I've had things that I'll plant and I just kill them. I seem to have some lavender coming back that I didn't kill. And so I'm hoping that that's going to be my go-to thing because I have to have low maintenance stuff. If it needs a lot of water and a lot of care, I get busy and I forget, and it's been days and it's been hot in the sun, and next thing you know, it's gone. But and I've been talking to, I've got a little basket I'm going to take out and have Amy help me find something that I can put in there that'll maybe cascade out that I can hang on the porch that doesn't need a ton of water. But we'll see if she can help me find something. And one thing too, I want to talk about this, their CBD products. I was such a skeptic about CBD. I thought it was snake oil. My doctor recommended it. Ran into Amy 2 days later. Perfect timing. I started using it. It's been about a year now that I've been using CBD, and it has been a game changer for me in my arthritis. When I took my COVID shot the other day, I was very honest. It really knocked me for a loop because I took the shot and then I went out and just was very I got out and did a lot of very aggressive work. And so, of course, I got my blood pumping, pushing through my system. I felt awful for a couple of days. Well, I doubled my oil because I was having a lot of aches. I think it just kind of agitated the arthritis in my body. And so I leaned in and did a little bit more oil, and I really think that helped me come back a little bit quicker. But I just can't say enough about the things that they're doing at Corbin Creek. Get out and talk to them, whether it be about their plants, their CBD products, whatever it might be. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5. Sunday, they're open from 1 to 5. You can call them if you have questions, 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. Please tell them that U-Turn sent you. And Terry Wilson, where do you want to go next, sir? This is your show.
Hey, all right. No, I was going to say, with on the COVID shot, I got my first one 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I got it on Friday. Saturday morning, I'm helping my son move stuff out of his third floor apartment, and I will attest. You after you get your injection, you need to take it easy for a couple of days.
You really do. I learned.
Because I have a problem with vertigo, and I have got a prescription medicine, and usually meclizine will help knock it. But we started bringing stuff down the stairs about between 7:30, 8 o'clock, and by 11:30, 12, I was laid out on the floor. My head was spinning one way, room was spinning one way, and everything was going in opposite directions. I was like, stop the world and let me off.
Yeah, for sure. And I talked to Rachel yesterday from the health department. I said, so it's a good idea for you to take it easy after you get your shot. And she's like, yeah, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
And so I'm still a little, but I'm so much better. I was still pretty out of it yesterday. Yeah. I took yesterday afternoon off because I was like, I'm going home. I went to bed. Yeah. And I never do that. I
get my second one next Friday.
Yeah. So you better take the weekend off.
I've already planned. My wife said, "You're not doing anything."
Yeah.
We're not going to go through that again.
I got the single shot, and that's the one I was waiting for. But we won't get into that. Yeah. We talked about shots and everything yesterday, and we got into a very interesting debate between Lee Marie is anti-shots, and I was. But after going through it and getting more information, I'm not an anti-vaccine person. I've had all my vaccines. vaccines. I get vaccines when I think they're a good idea. I've had the hepatitis because I work with the homeless population, and it's a big problem. So I'm very supportive of vaccines, but a lot of people aren't, and you have to be respectful of that and understand and have the conversation. We had I hope you'll listen to the conversation we had yesterday. We had a really good conversation about just agreeing to disagree on some things.
That's it.
But being respectful of each other. So I don't think we need to get off on that again, but we do recommend if you decide to get the shot, take it easy for a day or two, because I really, last couple of days were rough for me.
And if you don't have a problem with Tylenol is your friend.
Okay, very good. Well, CBD took me because it really seemed to attack my arthritis, because it just made me ache from the top of my head to the tips of my toes, and I did extra CBD, and I said I think I'm back today. I think I'm back.
Outstanding.
I think I'm good today. So we'll see how I fare about noon.
Well, we'll try to go ahead and get caught up.
Yep.
I believe should be in the connection this week. Should be the pictures from the proclamation that Mayor Vogel signed on the 29th. We had several of our veterans meet up at the mayor's office, and he did the proclamation for 2021 for recognizing Vietnam Veterans Day. Did some pictures inside, went outside to the Vietnam Memorial that's there at the courthouse, and took some pictures there. And, for someone that, if you haven't looked at the war memorials that are around the courthouse there up on the square, really need to stop and take a look at that, because so many places are trying to do away with our history. If I remember right, we had 14 from Robertson County that died in Vietnam, and the memorial was put there. Just happened to notice this time that was put there in 1969 by the Jaycees.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so, I mean, that's those things, and for the organization coming there and doing that's great. Things that are coming up, things that are going on this month. The American Legion Riders in Greenbrier is hosting the 4 Saturdays in April. They're doing a turkey shoot. They had a lot of the guys that asked about it during the fall turkey shoot. Said, "Hey, why don't you do a spring one?"
Yeah.
And we was like, "Well, I don't know. We've never
Why
done
not?
one."
Yeah.
And they said, "Well, why not?" I says, "Well, we never really thought about it." So they are doing a 4 Saturday spring turkey shoot. I had guys lined up trying to sign up at 7:15, and we don't start till 8. They were trying to sign up at 7:15 before I had everything all laid out.
Oh, that's funny.
And I mean, they were just one right after another. We was just getting the rounds full. I think they ended up doing 24 full rounds, which is 14 shooters on a round.
That's crazy.
We had a couple special prizes that was donated. And I apologize if I get the farm wrong, Bell Hollow Farm. And so they had some sirloin.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. Couple of nice, about 2.5, 3 pound sirloin.
Oh.
And, oh, yeah. I mean, I offered to help one of the guys out, take it home,
Sure,
put it on the smoker.
put it on the grill, yeah.
I mean, I was just going to help them out.
Sure. Throw a potato on there.
Yeah.
Nice.
See if you can find somebody that's got a Vidalia they're holding back to put some
That's
butter down in it,
hysterical.
put that on the grill.
Yeah. Oh, quit, man. I'm hungry. Stop. But very good. Well, I'm so glad that you had such success with that. That is fabulous.
Yeah. And
we're not done.
Yeah, and it is a family event. So we encourage everyone, come out, bring the family. It's a good time to let your kids, grandkids, bring them out and shoot. We have some that father-daughters are coming out and shooting. I mean, and the daughters are high school, college, or after college, and they're coming out with dad to shoot. So I mean, it's good. It's a family. It's a family function. Yeah. And so, ladies from our auxiliary, they have put together a pretty good breakfast and stuff. So there's breakfast items. So they not going to go hungry. If you go hungry, it's your own fault.
There you go.
And So it is. It's a great time. May 1st.
So just kind of reiterate the dates of the turkey shoot, since you started with that and then you talked about them, but remind them again when they can participate in the turkey shoots.
It's all 4 Saturdays in April.
Okay.
And we'll start usually signing up for the rounds at 7:30, and that's at the American Legion post in Greenbrier. That's 2730 Highway 41 South, Greenbrier. And so we'll start signing up. First round goes off at 8 o'clock, and we will go until we either run out of shooters or 12 o'clock, whichever comes first.
Very good.
And so they looking forward to a good turnout. Everyone keep coming out.
Do you need volunteers?
Yes, we do.
Lee Marie smiles at me from across the way.
We can always use volunteers. If you have... and I know the high school students, they've got to have volunteer hours.
Yes, there you go.
A lot of the organizations need volunteer hours. Please come out. We will find something for you to do. We can always use help. Unfortunately, with a lot of our veterans organizations, if we get, if someone's there that's in their 50s, that's our young group. We are an older our organization does have a lot of older members, but we understand that, and Aaron, I know you're listening, so this is not at you, so don't take us the wrong way. But our guys that are in their early 40s and younger still have kids at home. Yeah. They're working different shifts. And the last thing they're thinking about is coming out and being involved with the American Legion, VFW, DAV, any of the organizations that we have here. And so we know that once they start getting into their 40s, definitely, once the 50s, the kids are moving out. Hey, I got time to do something else. But we'd like to have the younger ones too. It's good.
Well, my son, he enjoys hanging out with the veterans, but again, it's a time thing. He's finishing school, he's married, he's got a boat that he needs to take out on the lake every now and then. He's in his 20s. Yeah. So, but he really enjoys the time with the older veterans. Yeah. And so I've seen him really check into it. But it is hard for some of the younger guys to plug into that.
Yeah, it is. And when things start slowing down for them, then that's when they start getting more involved. But hey, they're more than welcome to come enjoy with us. But volunteers, we always need volunteers. Every time we're doing a project, we always need volunteers. May 1st, the VFW, we were not able to hold a flag retirement ceremony last year. So we have flags galore.
Okay.
And so we're going to be doing 2 flag retirements coming up here soon. The first one's going to be on May 1st. That one's going to be hosted by the VFW 2120 here in Robertson County. They're going to do it there at the American Legion post. That's on a Saturday. And so what they're going to be doing, and so what we had talked about last night, and I discussed it with their outgoing commander, is that if we have people who would like, and we did a little bit of this the last time we did a retirement, but if we have people and you have loved ones that were veterans and you would like to retire a flag in their honor, we invite them to come out. And so we'll be getting the times up for the retirement. And so, everyone, please pay attention. The Facebook, we'll make sure we get the word here to Laverne so we can go ahead and make sure we get that out. But we want to offer the opportunity for whether it's a spouse, a daughter, aunt, uncle, cousin, third child removed to the left side, if they want to retire a flag for that loved one, come out, let us give us their name, branch of service when they, if when they served, because we'd like to be able to tell people who that's being retired for.
Right.
And so we'll have our everything's going to open with our regular ceremony. We'll do the retirement on the first flag, and then after that, then we'll start retiring all of the flags. But if we do have people in the community, that's going to be the first opportunity for them to come out. The second one is going to be on Flag Day. Flag Day is June 14th. That is on a Monday, if I remember correctly this year. The American Legion will be doing that one. And so we're going to do about half. We're looking at doing about half our flags in May, the other half in June. We probably have close to five. We probably have better than 500 flags.
Oh, wow. And tell people where they come from, because you take flags in to make sure they're properly
we do
retired.
The flags come from all over Robertson County, neighboring areas. I have guys that work in the debris removal business, and they'll find flags that have just been tossed out in the trash. So they will pull them out to bring them to the post.
You bet.
And I just have regular citizens that will take and bring those to the post. And I know there's not someone there 24/7 or anything else, but if you'll just take and put it in a plastic bag and just hang it on the front door, we will make sure it gets with the rest of our flags, that they are properly folded and they're properly retired the way they should be. The flag should not be thrown in the trash. It should be properly retired.
It's so funny because I was at our benevolent center and we were going through some donations or something, and somebody had given us just a bunch of those little flags, and they were, some of them, the sticks were broke. They were in disrepair. Well, I wasn't paying attention. Next thing I know, I come by and they're in the trash, and I grabbed them up and I'm like, who threw these away? And I had to school some people on, you do not throw away flags.
Yeah.
Bring them to me. But people, we just are not teaching the younger generations the respect for what this country's been through. And the flag is a part of that. And don't throw away flags. What Terry said, get them to the proper place.
Yeah.
I got to take a break.
Okay.
I still have 2 breaks left, and I'm looking at the time and I'm going, we're getting out of time already. It goes so fast when we're talking to friends. And that's when I invite you to come on the show, I have so many people go, oh, I'm so scared. I'm like, no, it's just we're sitting on the porch and talking. It's just we're just having a conversation. There's nothing to it. So if you get if we call you and say, hey, you've got something interesting we want to talk to you about, come on and let us get to know you. And if you're interested in coming on, just message me. And sometimes you have to message me more than once because I'm a little flighty with my organizational skills. Lee Marie helps me though. She really does. I love having her in here because she kind of helps keep me focused. But anyway, I'm going to talk about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Realty Garden Gate team. They are, we have time playing the One Street Over song from the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. I can't mention anybody connected to the festival without saying, did you hear we're going to have it August 27th and 28th? They're a part of it. Rebecca was one of the first sponsors. She was on that first group that sponsored the festival when it first started. Her and Barry now as a team, they are always sponsors of the festival, as is the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. They care about what's going on in this community, and they're plugged in, and they got skin in the game. In other words, they've been up in Cross Plains for over 20 years. Rebecca's been at the realty game longer than Barry. He's always been a part of it because they're married. They're a team, and so he's always helped her with his marketing skills. He had a marketing career. But a few years ago, he went full-time with her. And so they are the perfect team because she understands all the legalese of it. And then he's got the marketing side of it to make sure if you're selling property, you're going to get the most eyes on the property. And two, to make sure that, if you're maybe somebody older that's selling property, Rebecca was one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. And that means that she's just specially trained to make sure all those T's are crossed and I's are dotted when it comes to selling land when you're older, because there are some tax implications you need to know about. She can help you with all that. They're the perfect team. They have got Robertson County as their focus. You can look at their listings at robertsoncounty.com, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding areas, the surrounding counties, and across the state line in Kentucky. If you want to connect with them, go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com. Thank them for sponsoring One Street Over. Tell them U-Turn sent you. Okay, Terry, where are we going next?
Well, we're going to go one street over.
Okay, one street over. One street over. I'm going to ask you a quick question real quick. You mentioned that the Vietnam Memorial was dedicated in 1969?
The one at the courthouse up here.
I find that because my friend that died in Vietnam, that's the year he died, was in 69. So the war went on until 75. So I guess they dedicated the monument, and God bless them, had to add names because that the ones that died didn't die. I mean, there were many that died between 69 and 75. Yeah. Interesting. I've got to go and take a look at that because when you said 69, that just kind of perked because I knew that was the year Kenneth died in September. Yeah. And so, okay. Well, these are things we need to go and know about and look at and see what's going on and get the whole story.
And there's still a lot of Tennesseans that have not been identified yet, that were POW MIAs. Remains have not been found yet to have been brought home.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
we still have folks, and that's one of the things that we've talked about at some of the meetings I've gone to with the state, and it is something that still just really just kind of. Just kind of pulls at you, knowing that family has not been able to have the ability to have closure.
There's a lot of Korean War veterans that are still MIA, aren't they?
Yeah.
It seems like I remember, because there was a bunch that were brought home, and I can't remember the specifics of it because I don't want to start saying. But that's one thing. I think sometimes the Korean War veterans think we forget them. No. And because Vietnam was such a, they had World War II before them, and then Vietnam, and theirs was not the same type of you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I have talked to Korean War veterans that they feel like they just kind of fell through the cracks, and but they went through just awful stuff. And
It was.
so, and I think there's a lot of MIA still with the Korean War.
We have one of our Korean veterans that's with the Legion Post. He was on the USS Sullivan.
Okay.
That was named after the Sullivan brothers from World War II, and I've seen pictures of his ship. It looked more like an iceberg than it did a ship.
Oh, wow.
It's just so much ice on. It was. I love studying history. I love looking at that. And when you look at history and you go back and look at some of the documentaries and things like that have happened, World War I was the first time that, if I remember correctly, that a chemical or biological type warfare was used, and of course that was mustard gas, which was very, very bad on them. World War II kind of changed the game again. We're fighting on two fronts. We're on the European front, and we got the Pacific. But I think at that time, when the decision was made to drop both the bombs, that changed the complete planning on everything at that point in time, which that would have still been fresh in everyone's mind when the Korean War broke out. Some of the history books, they want to call it, well, it was peacekeeping. Well, no, it was a war. No, I'm sorry. If you're shooting at one another, that's a war. Mm-hmm. And so there's a lot of things there. And I think our Korean veterans do get, there's times that they get overlooked. And they need to be remembered as well, too, because when you take and you look at some of the history that come out of the Korean War, and some of the guys I've sat and talked to, and the experiences that they had, some of them are as horrific as our guys experienced in Vietnam. The only difference is the temperature was a lot lower.
Yeah.
And I've got to read some of the letters that the guys wrote home, things when they were 18, 19 years old, 17, up until Vietnam. We had a lot of people that went in at 17. World War II, we actually had people trying to get in at 14 and 15.
Yeah, they were lying on their paperwork.
And I have one. He has, and I got to look in his DD-214s because he re-enlisted. He had two different birth dates. And I'm like, and I said, the year is different on both of these? He goes, yeah. He goes, I wasn't quite old enough. I lied. I fudged.
Yes, that's so funny.
And he goes, I used my brother's birthday, and this one is mine. He goes, I was already there, and they didn't find out till about time for me to re-enlist. He goes, so then we corrected it. Because
that's
he
hysterical.
said, so I just went ahead and stayed.
Yeah.
And so you see a lot of that. A lot of young brides. It seemed like during World War II, Franklin, Kentucky seemed to be the marriage capital of this area because you didn't have to have anyone's permission if you were under the age of 18 to get married in Kentucky.
There you go. I'm from Kentucky.
Yeah.
We're known for something.
That's it.
That's funny.
And
That's funny.
so there's a lot of spouses I've talked to that went there, and it is some of those are some very colorful stories.
I know. I love it.
But there's a lot, we're trying to get back to some normalcy, and we're getting back into doing our normal functions within our veterans organizations. We're hoping to be able to plan for a county Memorial Day program.
Okay.
To do this year. We're also planning on doing the Greenbrier Memorial Day program in Greenbrier again. That will be on Memorial Day itself. The county program, if everything looks like we're going to be able to pull that off, it seems like it's worked out well to be able to do it on a Saturday evening. More people, it's a little bit more, it doesn't take out of their time. And it seems like we have a much better turnout. Trying to put it right after the one in Greenbrier is really tough to do. It really last year, of course, there was no programs at all. This year, we won't have as many as we've had in the past. 2019,
They wore you out in 2019.
I carried 3 different shirts with me, girl.
You were all over the place. It was funny. I remember.
I think I did.
Busy.
I think I did about 10 different functions, 10 or 12 functions over that weekend.
Yeah.
And I think 6 of them were on Monday. And I carried 3 different shirts with me.
Yeah. It was. I remember because I had you on right before that, and it was just crazy. Your schedule. You kind of outlined it for me, and I was like, good land.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But so we're hoping to be able to. Whatever the recommendations are, that's what we're going to try to follow, and we're just going to have everybody work with us, and so we want to do this. We want to come together and remember our veterans on Memorial Day, and need to remember there's a big difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Memorial Day is for our veterans who have passed, and so all the restaurants that say, hey, we're going to give our veterans a free meal, if it's the ones for Memorial Day that they're remembering, none of them's going to show up.
There you go. They've all passed.
That's it.
Yeah.
But we do need to remember them. And actually, we need to remember all of our veterans and the spouses as well, too. Got to take care of them. I don't know if I told you, but at Christmas, we probably delivered close to 70 food boxes across Robertson County.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. And that's only made possible by you contributing to what they're doing over at the VA office. So, this is something, especially last year, you guys were short on budget because you didn't have the money coming in. Now that you're doing the other side, we need you to participate in the turkey shoots. We need you to donate and be a part of what's going on, because taking care of our veterans who need that help, that's how they pay for that stuff.
A lot of the things that come out in the mailings are from the national organizations, and I don't ever want to take away from national programs because it's good, because I can usually tap into some of those for some of our veterans depending on the circumstances. But when someone contacts me and they say, where do I need to put it? I say, donate to your local unit, your local organization, whether it's and I'm a member of all of them, so it's hard for me to say one over the other, so I try to stay neutral. And I say, whichever one is more near and dear to your heart, make a donation to that local organization, whether it's the American Legion. We have 3 American Legion posts in Robertson County. We have 1 VFW post. We have 1 DAV chapter. We have a VVA chapter, which is Vietnam Veterans of America. And, as we can see, there's going to come an end to that organization eventually. There's a reason why the Spanish American was a Spanish American War Veterans organization. It eventually went away, but the remembrance is still there. Make a donation to that organization because they have been impacted greatly over the past year. It is really, and what they're doing hasn't slowed down. They still are doing the same thing. The only thing is they just had to tighten their belts a little bit and said, hey, we've got to be a little bit tighter with it because here's where the money's got to go. We got to use this to take care of our veterans. and 70 food boxes, that's probably close to about $3,000 that goes in to be able to do that. And we funded that between the VFW and the American Legion in Greenbrier. And so they actually been funding that for the last few years together as a team, which has been great. Finding out that if the organizations all work together, we can help more people with everyone coming together than what one organization can do on their own.
Very good. Very good. And I've got a question from Joe Burnett I want to get to before we run out of time. And I don't know, you may not have this answer, but he said, did Robertson County have the Vietnam pinning?
They did.
What is that? I don't know what he's talking about.
There is they have a commemorative Vietnam War pin.
Okay.
I have some of those. I also have some of the ones that are for surviving spouses of Vietnam veterans. And we did not have a pinning at this Vietnam Veterans Day recognition, but we are planning to do one. And so we do want to do another one because there are still some Vietnam veterans out here who have not received their pin yet. And I do keep pins. So when I have Vietnam veterans in the office, generally I'll ask them, did you get your pin? Because most of them will all wear their pin. So it makes it really easy for me to know if they have or not.
Yeah.
And so I do try to keep a few with me at the office. And then also, like I said, they do have one for Vietnam veteran surviving spouse. So there is one for them as well.
Okay.
So I do have a few of each, and I try to stay in contact with the people that I can get those from.
So the answer to that question, Joe, is we have done them in the past.
Yes.
We didn't do one this past Vietnam Memorial Day, but you're looking to do another one in the future.
Yes.
Okay. So we have done them. We just didn't do one this past time.
I think the last big one we did was done when the moving wall was here.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the last thing, if I remember correctly, that was the last big one that we done. And so we do, and we've had a lot of people moving into Robertson County, and more people are becoming aware. So we really need to plan to do another one for that to recognize them.
Okay, and I need to pause and finish up with my ads and do the Reiselman ad. So just be thinking about anything we haven't covered that we need to get to when we come back. And we're going to talk for a moment about Reiselman Buick GMC, one of the largest GMC Buick inventories in Tennessee. My friends, getting to know Todd has been a lot of fun. He is just a great guy. I love telling their story. He and Courtney, they were looking for a place to buy a business, and they picked Robertson County, just like I picked Robertson County in 1992. I'm not from here. I'm from Kentucky. But my husband and I, we were looking for a special place to be. So were the Reiselmans, and they picked Robertson County just like we did. And I just think that makes it special because they saw what we have here in this community, and they wanted to be a part of it. And they have really just put everything into it. And I've got a great dealership there with everything you need. I like talking about the service department because I drive the older vehicles. I put 400,000 miles on a Yukon. They're good trucks. I've got one right now with 180,000 miles, got some lights going off on it. I went in there the other day. Of course, when it won't act up when I'm in the shop. So we're trying to figure out exactly what's going on. It doesn't seem to be anything too serious. And so talking to them about the best way to identify it, to make sure that we get that service done. And what's really cool is they've got hours for the service department every single day that they are open. Now, the service department's open until noon on Saturday, but you do have Saturday hours where you can run by and see them. The dealership is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. Saturday, they're open 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. They've got, of course, the new vehicles coming in all the time from GMC and Buick, whether it's something like the Canyon or the Yukon, like I am very partial to these days, and the Sierra that everybody wants because of that multi-pro, 6-function multi-pro tailgate, which is the Swiss Army knife of tailgates. You may want something off the pre-owned lot. Always getting in those low-mile pre-owned vehicles. They had a couple of Silverados that we were talking about yesterday with low miles, one even with some factory warranty still on it that came in, and they've got a lot of certified pre-owned vehicles that'll come in that'll go through a multi-point inspection, so it's got that guarantee that it's going to be exactly what you need parked in your driveway. They can also see a lot of vehicles that'll come in, like I said, with some factory warranty left on them, and different ways to buy. If you want to pay cash, well, yeah, they'll let you do that, but you can also have leasing and financing options that are available. You can start your application process online. You can also take and and take a peek at some of the vehicles online at RiceLmanBuickGMC.com, RiceLmanBuickGMC.com. But I tell you, there's cars coming in every day. So if you're, got something in mind, I really recommend you go drive through the parking lot and see what they have, because what you want it's kind of like houses selling. What you want may have come in and it's sold before you even get a chance to look at it. So pay attention to what's coming into the lot there at Reiselman. They're at 2516 Memorial Boulevard. You can call them if you have questions, 615-384-3559, 615-384-3559. And please always tell them U-Turn sent you. Thank them for sponsoring our little thing we call One Street Over. Terry Wilson, go. What are we missing?
After doing your car ad, my son, of course, is a mechanic.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, they're not mechanics anymore; they're technicians.
Okie dokie.
I get corrected on that.
That's fine.
Anyway, he had a vehicle that he had to look at about a week ago, 11,000 miles on a brand new Lexus.
Oh.
And the young lady that was driving the vehicle was very environmentally conscious, and so she decided to put green gas into the vehicle. And they still don't know how she was able to get the green gas in there, because it's all down the side of it, down below, and that green nozzle does not fit into a regular gas thing. But they got it in there, and now it needs a new motor.
Well, yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, people. Oh my word. Oh my word.
Yeah. And he says, and just because it makes a little bit of noise, if you turn the radio up, you don't hear it. He goes, that doesn't take care of the problem. And electrical tape over the lights doesn't fix it either.
Oh, my word. I'm one of these people, because I drive older vehicles. I mean, lights come on and noise start, and I'm like, what is that? What is that? Because you have to take care of them.
Yeah.
And I love my trucks. They run like steel if you take care of them.
Well, I've noticed as I've gotten
funny.
older, I've got a few lights come on, and I've noticed some noises and stuff.
Yeah,
and
just like a bot. Yeah, it's just like, exactly. We're just like our vehicles. We start making some racket too. So have we covered everything? Because we're down to about 2 minutes here. I don't want to miss anything.
I want to cover the office.
Okay.
A lot of people are still calling our old number
Yes.
from when we was in Greenbrier. And so we really want to get the word out, and this is probably one of the best forums to be able to do it. Our office had the opportunity to be able to move into the county office building on South Brown Street. I'd like to thank Mayor Vogel and all the commissioners for all their help and helping us be able to secure this spot. And so now we are within the county family now, so
Love it.
we're not the stepchildren anymore.
There you go. And the room out back. You got an office. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. And but unfortunately, when we made the move at the end of December, all of our numbers and our email changed, with the exception of our fax number. That was the only thing we was able to maintain. So the Veteran Service Office, we're still here in Robertson County. We are still very busy. As I said earlier, I have probably close to about 150. I know it's well over 100 claims that I've gotten various stages that have not been filed yet. So those things we're working on. But we're still staying very busy. So that's why we're still trying to stick to appointment only, where in the past when we were a lot slower and I was able to get everything done every day, we could handle walk-ins. We could handle 15, 16 people a day walking in. Mm-hmm. I can't do that anymore. I'm not able to. It's hard to maintain that pace and to do the quality that I set for myself to be able to do. Mm-hmm. Everyone in our office is fully accredited. The assistant VSO, Scott Irwin, and Ashley Pierce, our administrative assistant, both of them are fully accredited with Tennessee Department of Veteran Services, the American Legion, and the VFW, just like I am. Mm-hmm. They go through the same training that I do, so they are all very knowledgeable. So if someone calls and you want to talk to me, they can probably 99% of the time can probably answer that same question.
Right.
And I've had people say, "How do I get past Ashley? What's the secret
What's the
phrase?
trick?
What's the
That's
password?"
funny.
I go, "There isn't one."
Yeah.
That's her function, is to try to take care of things before it gets to me. and that way then I'm able to go ahead and keep working on everybody's stuff and make sure it's happening. But our new location, 505 South Brown Street. We're right across the hallway from the trustee's office. And our new phone number is 615-382-6506. One more time, 615-382-6506. And I know Laverne keeps this recorded on Facebook, so if you missed that number, just watch the show again.
That's right. And you can go get the WSGI app, which has you can hit the little TV button and go watch these shows anytime. I mean, it's really cool what we got going on here at WSGI. If you want to be a part of that, you need to reach out to Ebenezer Broadcasting. And just a reminder that this is 1100 WSGI. Thanks for joining us. And we'll be back with more tomorrow here on One Street Over. God bless. Have a wonderful day.
Precious sound, my Savior stands, dying for me with outstretched hand.